Today, we are strapping into an electric SUV that isn't just a new model launch. It feels more like a declaration that's forcing the entire global auto industry to kind of rethink its playbook.
Exactly. We're doing a deep dive today into the Fang Cheng Bao, or you might see it as FCB Type 3. It's an all-electric, compact SUV, yes, but it's from BYD's sub-brand.
Right.
And for you listening in, this vehicle, it's pretty much the perfect snapshot of China's accelerating dominance in the global EV market.
Mm.
Our mission here is to understand how they pulled off this, unprecedented mix of high-tech features and really aggressive low pricing.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Why is a new SUV from a BYD sub-brand such a major global story? I mean, we've talked about BYD before, but the scale they're operating at now, it's just become absolutely staggering.
Yeah, it really comes down to volume and market share. That gives them leverage that's frankly unparalleled. You got to start with the big picture first.
Okay.
So in 2024, China was responsible for producing over 70% of the world's electric cars. 70%.
Yeah.
And they sold over 11 million EVs, just domestically. So if China sets the price floor or, the future expectation, the rest of the world pretty much has to react.
And BYD isn't just playing that sandbox, they're kind of building the sandbox, right?
Precisely. BYD became the world's largest EV manufacturer back in 2023, officially overtaking Tesla globally.
Yep.
And within China, their home market, that dominance translates into serious power. They held a massive 31.4% share of EVs produced there in 2024.
31%.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And this isn't just about selling more cars. It's about achieving economies of scale that, no other manufacturer can really touch right now.
And Fang Cheng Bao, this FCB brand, that's how they're taking that massive scale and sort of aiming it at the premium segment, like a proving ground.
That's the strategic brilliance of it, yeah.
Yeah.
FCB is exploring that, let's call it accessible premium space, where performance and cool tech meet, affordability.
Mm-hmm.
And their growth rate, that's a real warning sign to the legacy automakers. FCB hit 100,000 deliveries in just 18 months.
18 months.
Yeah, by May 2025. That kind of pace. It just fundamentally changes the clock speed for global auto manufacturing.
So the Type 3 is perfectly positioned to push that strategy even further. It's the first in their new Thai hardcore series, right? Moving from pure off-roaders like the Bao 5 into more mainstream family SUVs.
Exactly, high volume segment.
And the shock really starts with the price tag.
Oh yeah, that's the absolute hook. The price range is 133,800 to 193,800 yuan.
Okay, what's that in dollars for us?
Roughly 18,200 to 26,400 USD.
$18,000 to start.
Yeah. And just think about that. You're getting an advanced, high-performing EV SUV for the price of, like, an entry-level gas-powered economy car in the U.S. or Europe.
It's not just the sticker price that's disruptive, though. It's what you actually get for that money. It's a compact SUV, 5 trims, and you can get it in rear-wheel drive or a pretty serious all-wheel drive setup.
Mm-hmm. The RWD version is totally capable, 160 kilowatts, that's about 215 horsepower. Gets you 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 7.9 seconds. Solid for everyday driving.
Tight.
But the performance model, the all-wheel drive one, that's where the engineering really pops.
Okay. Give us the numbers on that AWD.
So it's a dual motor setup.
Yeah.
You've got 110 kilowatts up front and then a punchy 200 kilowatt motor in the rear.
Right.
That adds up to 310 kilowatt of total power output, which is, get this, 416 horsepower.
416 horsepower.
Yep. And that drops the acceleration time down to a really swift 4.9 seconds. Hitting sub 5 seconds in a family SUV that starts under 27 grand, that's remarkable.
Okay, but hitting those performance numbers reliably, efficiently, that takes serious battery tech. And this is where BYD really leans into its core strength, right? The battery itself.
Absolutely. Uses BYD's famous Blade LFP battery, lithium iron phosphate.
Known for safety, longevity.
Exactly. Capacities go up to about 78.7 kilowatters. And that gives you a CLTC range of 501 kilometers, which is definitely competitive in the market.
But the architecture, the underlying system, that feels like the real leap here, especially for the price.
That's right. It runs on an 800-volt architecture.
Which used to be supercar territory, or at least, very high-end EVs.
Totally. Reserved for the six-figure models, usually. But here, it means you can charge that battery from 30% to 80% in just 18 minutes.
18 minutes.
Yeah, that drastically cuts down range anxiety, minimizes waiting time. It makes the whole EV experience genuinely practical for, everyone. The mass market.
It's almost hard to believe you get that performance, that charging speed at this price. But, the real shock comes when you look at the feature list. It feels like they just threw everything in.
Oh, yeah.
Here's where it gets really interesting. We absolutely have to talk about the standard stuff and then the optional extra that's got everyone buzzing, the drone.
Yes, the Linglian vehicle-mounted drone system. Optional, but wow. And it's not some, cheap add-on. This is a proper collaboration with DJI
DJI, the drone leaders.
themselves. And it's integrated,
Yeah.
meaning it's housed right in the roof of the car,
Yeah.
built in.
An integrated drone that just launches itself. That sounds like something out of science fiction for a car starting at $18 K.
It launches automatically when the car is stopped, or even moving slowly, below 25 kilometers per hour. And it's not a toy camera either. Sports 4K, dual camera shooting, even has intelligent video editing, clearly aimed at, adventure types content creators.
That's brilliant for family trips or off-roading. No packing, no charging a separate drone, no losing it. It's just always there. Though I did see in the source material, choosing that option has a pretty noticeable physical impact.
It does, yeah. If you get the drone variant, the car is actually taller. It goes from the standard 17-20 millimeters up to 19-30 millimeters.
Wow, that's like 7 inches taller.
Exactly, just to accommodate the drone hangar and the launch mechanism in the roof. Shows you how complex that integration really is.
Okay, so drone aside, the interior utility is also kind of off the charts. My personal favorite, something I seriously wish every car had, is that built-in cooler box thing.
The built-in refrigerator/heater. Yeah, it's a full thermal console. It can chill down to -6 degrees Celsius.
Ice cream ready.
Right. Perfect for keeping things frozen on a road trip. Or it can heat up to 50 Celsius for hot food or drinks. It's just BYD saying, look, if this is useful, we're going to integrate it properly.
And then the rest of the interior doesn't feel stripped down either. The top trim, the Ultra, gets a 14-speaker Dynaudio system.
Premium sound.
Yeah. And you still get the modern essentials, like a big floating screen up to 15.6 inches running their Delink 100 system. But they kept what the sources call a hardcore vibe. Chunky gear lever, physical buttons for climate control.
That mix of tactile controls and modern software is smart. People still like buttons for some things.
Definitely.
And the innovation, the utility, it runs deep under the skin in the chassis and safety systems. That's where the Ti 3 really separates itself from other budget-friendly EVs.
Like the terrain system.
Yeah, the IATS.
Yeah.
Intelligent all-terrain system. It automatically figures out if you're on grass, sand, mud, snow, whatever, and adjusts the driving modes for you.
And they included active damping. That's usually way more expensive.
That's the DISC system. Intelligent damping body control, basically electronically controlled adaptive suspension.
Okay.
It constantly adjusts the shock absorbers for better stability, better comfort. Huge deal for ride quality and handling at this price point.
But maybe the most mind-blowing thing, the truly revolutionary safety feature, is this TSE, tire stability control. It's designed to handle a blowout. How does that even work without sending the car flying? Sounds like hypercar tech.
It is extraordinary tech for this segment.
Yeah.
The sources say if you have a major blowout, the system lets you keep driving. Up to 80 kilometers per hour
80 on a flat.
for up to 30 kilometers. It does it by stabilizing the chassis electronically and actually lifting the damaged wheel slightly off the ground.
Lifting the wheel.
Mitigating the catastrophic loss of control you'd normally get. It lets you safely get somewhere to fix it. That kind of stability management in a family SUV, massive safety upgrade. Massive convenience.
And just to round out the tech package, the driver assists are all there too, right?
Yep. The God's Eye C-ADS system uses 12 cameras, 5 radars, 12 ultrasonic sensors, enables over 30 functions, like highway autopilot, advanced parking assist. It's fully loaded.
Okay, so feature packed from top to bottom.
All right. Now we have to connect all these dots back to the big question. We've got a vehicle with adaptive suspension, 800-volt charging, a fridge, an optional drone, starting at $18,000.
Yeah.
How is that even possible? It seems financially impossible in the traditional auto world, where companies buy components from suppliers.
Yeah, how does BYD pull off this economic magic trick?
One key phrase: vertical integration. It's their core competitive advantage. They control the entire supply chain, and I mean the entire chain. Quote, from mining raw materials to battery production and recycling.
Everything.
Pretty much. They make their own batteries, their own chips for the vehicle OS, and most of the core components. This means minimal reliance on outside suppliers. They bypass shortages that hit others, and crucially, it slashes their production costs dramatically.
And that vertical control translates directly into pricing power that Western companies just can't seem to match.
Absolutely. You see it clear as day in the average selling price data. BYD's ASP in 2024 was around $20,000 across their whole lineup.
20 grand average.
Yep. Meanwhile, Tesla's ASP was $41,000.
Wow, double.
That massive difference isn't just profit margin, it's the leverage BYD uses to push into global markets at a price point that just undercuts almost everyone else.
When you see that huge price gap, it really forces a tough question on those non-integrated Western automakers. How do you possibly compete with a $20,000 car that has features you normally charge $60,000 for without just tanking your own profits?
They can't, really. Not
Okay.
unless they fundamentally rethink their entire sourcing
Yeah.
and manufacturing strategy, their scale. And that brings us neatly to BYD's globalization strategy. It's moving beyond just shipping cars out.
Right, they're building factories overseas now.
Exactly. They started exporting batteries way back in '98, but now they're deep into capacity globalization, building plants in Thailand, Hungary, Brazil.
Hmm.
This is crucial for two big reasons. First, yeah, it helps sidestep potential tariffs like the ones the EU and US are talking about.
Sure.
But second, and just as important, it lets them tap into local opportunities, tax breaks, subsidies,
Mm.
like Norway's EV push or Thailand's incentives. They are masters at environmental scanning, finding these institutional advantages to set up local economies of scale.
So what does this all mean for you listening at home and for the rest of the car industry?
Well, the Fang Cheng Tai 3, it's basically the poster child for this new wave of Chinese EVs. It's high-tech, it's hyper-featured. I mean, a drone, adaptive suspension, a fridge, come on, and it's aggressively priced.
Right.
All because of BYD's incredible control over its manufacturing. The global market is really seeing a fundamental reset of what standard features even means.
And that reset is fueling some intense price wars, isn't it? The sources mentioned fierce competition in China started by Tesla, but then BYD poured gasoline on it, driving average EV prices down like 10% year over year recently.
Hmm. Early 2024 saw that big drop. And this brings us to the final, really critical question for the entire industry. If this level of feature-packed competition is the new global standard, starting down at that $18,000 to $26,000 level,
Yeah.
what happens to profitability worldwide?
Yeah.
What happens when the entry point includes sophisticated safety tech, 800-volt systems, and yes, a built-in refrigerator? This race to the bottom on price, combined with a race to the top on features,
Mm-hmm.
it makes a sustainable business model incredibly challenging for anyone who isn't vertically integrated like BYD and operating at massive scale.
That is a truly provocative thought to end on, especially if you're one of those non-integrated manufacturers watching your margins just evaporate. We really appreciate you joining us as we explored the impressive and, let's face it, deeply disruptive BYD Fangcheng Baotai 3.
Always fascinating to unpack these huge shifts.
Absolutely.
If you want to keep up with the biggest moves shaking up tech, business, and geopolitics, definitely make sure you follow the channel for more deep dives like this one. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.